Hi there, this is Jen, and thanks so much for stopping by today. Today I am participating in the hop that I participate in every month, and it is called Card Hopping. And so this event happens monthly, as I mentioned, and there's a theme and a technique, and this month's theme is florals. And the technique that we are going to be doing is either going to be mixed media or alcohol ink. And if you post cards on Instagram or YouTube videos or a blog, you are more than welcome to join the group and participate in the monthly hops. I will have all of the information listed below, as well as the information for Handmade Happiness, which is where this group or where this hop originated from. And today I'm going to be doing 2 mixed media cards. And I'm going to start out with some watercolor paper as well as some white gesso, and I'm just going to spread that on the panel, and I'm going to take this little tool. This is actually a cake tool. I bought a set of them off of Amazon. They're really great for different textures, and I'm just going to kind of swipe that down the panel and then turn it directions so it makes a little bit of texture. This is a really easy way to get some texture on your card panel. And then I'm going to set that aside and let that dry a little bit. And then I'm grabbing these Lavinia Elements inks. I absolutely love these. They're very juicy inks, probably similar to Catherine Pooler, but the difference is that they are very earth tone. All of the colors are very much earth tone colors, which are fall in line perfectly with the types of stamps that Lavinia has. But I absolutely love these colors, and the colors that I'm using are Mermaid, Sundance, Graphite, Pine, and Mulberry. And I'm doing a little bit of ink smushing, so I have laid down the color on my craft mat and then spritzed it with some water. And I'm just taking a piece of leftover plastic packaging and setting that on my watercolor panel and doing a little bit of swiping, and then I'm going to take my water bottle and spritz a little bit of water on there and then dry that with my heat tool. And then I'm also going to take the gessoed panel and dry that. And as you can see, when it heats the gesso up, it makes these cool little bubbles. So if you don't want the bubbles, just let it air dry. But I really like that extra texture from the that the heat tool creates. And then I'm going to use that same ink that I used for the first panel, and trying to get as much onto that panel as I can. I end up cleaning up that mess on the right hand side and then just swatching out 2 of the Elements colors in, I believe I used Mermaid and probably Mulberry. And then I'm taking just a water brush pen and spreading that color a little bit more across the panel. And one of my favorite things about mixed media is you can use virtually anything to create texture and patterns. I'm using some bubble wrap, but you can use silverware, forks, knives, anything that you can run across to paint. You can use cheesecloth, any kind of, sometimes like the wallpaper swatches have texture in them. There's so much that you can use to put into paint and add texture, or put into paste and add texture. I just absolutely love it. And then I am taking a little bit of that gesso watered down and just doing a dry brush and then doing some splatters. And then I'm going to switch back over to the other card. I'm using the Distress ink in the, I think it's called Flamingo Kitschy or something like that. It's one of those new colors, and I'm just going to take my blending brush and add that pink. And then I'm taking this visible image stamp set called Create It. I love the little kind of fractured stamp. I don't know what it's called. And I am inking that up with some Versafine Clair in Nocturne, and so I'm just going to stamp that with my stamping block on several areas on the card panel. And then for the florals for this card, I'm going to use a stamp set from Visible Image called Random Art of Kindness, and so I am using kind of that sunflowerish stamp and then the twirly stamp, and I'm going to stamp that up with the Versafine Clair Nocturne again. And then I'm taking a white charcoal pencil and adding some little details to both of the flowers. And then I'm going to take a black charcoal pencil and add the stems and the leaves to both of those flowers. And for the flower on the left hand side, I go ahead and I use part of that fractured stamp to create the stem. And then I just add a few little leaves with that charcoal pencil and smooth the charcoal pencil out a little bit. And then I'm going to take a few rubber stamps from my stash. This first one, I use it a fair amount. It's just got scripty writing on it, which I absolutely love. And then I'm taking another rubber stamp, and this just has little dots all over it. And so I'm using that same black Nocturne ink. And that pretty much finishes that one off. I do add a sentiment to the bottom, but for this other panel, I'm going to go ahead and take a flower stamp set and ink that up in some white pigment ink and then cover that with white embossing powder. And then I am using for the florals on this one an old Spellbinder set, and I think it's called Poppies. I don't think it's available any longer. And then I'm taking this is a really old stamp set. I don't know that I've ever used it. I picked it up at a garage sale, but it's got like the library card holder pattern to it. And so I just stamped that across that entire panel. And then I used the matching dies from that stamp set to cut these images out. And then I'm just going to go ahead and adhere all of those pieces with some liquid glue. And then for this other card, this is going to be a Mother's Day card for my mom. And Maker Forte has this fabulous Mother's Day stamp set, and I will include a link for it below, but it has the scripty font that I used on that card. And so here are both of the completed cards. And I hope you enjoyed this video. The links for all of the hop participants are going to be below, as well as the next person in the hop. I absolutely love participating in this monthly hop. I love seeing what everybody brings, and everybody's take is so different and unique to their card style, and so I'm super excited to watch all of the videos. So I hope that and encourage you to go ahead and check out the other participants and the videos on the hop. And that is it for me. If you liked this video or found it informative, please go ahead and give a thumbs up. And as always, thank you so much for stopping by and spending some time with me, and I hope to see you soon.